Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another video in the Arbiter tutorial series. In this video, we're going to be exploring how you can use Arbiter to do your legal research. To begin, when you land in the dashboard page, you can either start by going into the editor or start by pressing the legal research quick action button from the dashboard. I'll go ahead and start opening the editor mode and then going into the research tab from the sidebar. When you enter the research tab, you will see all of your legal research, past research, and chats in the sidebar. And to begin a new chat, you can simply press the new chat button and a new chat page will open. In this page, you can either start researching on a previous matter that you have included. We will have a separate video on how matters work. Or you can start doing research on any specific topic that is not necessarily matter related. So for example, in here, as you can see, you can look at the chat bar and enter your query in the input bar. And you can choose different analysis modes. There are 3 of these modes available: standard, deliberation, and grand deliberation. We will focus on standard mode in this tutorial and explain how everything works. To begin, you can simply type in your query. I've prepared a query right now that I'm going to be pasting here. This one. And once you type in your query, you can choose your default research mode. For this research, we're going to be using fast. You can use premium as well. It takes more tokens to do premium research, but the research depth will be much more, but it consumes more tokens. Once you're happy with your prompt, you can either press send, or if you want, you can also press this button to add more context to your query. So for example, from here, you can add any of your past documents that you've uploaded to the platform to use for your query. I'm just going to go ahead and press send. When you send your query, Arbiter will look at your question, and based on the question, it will create a set of legal research to-do lists or tasks. And then it will go ahead and start doing research on those questions so that the legal answer that you get is actually accurate and that it makes sense. So you just saw that it made a bunch of queries right there. And now it's going to be doing research. It's going to go ahead, read all those materials and create a report or a memo that it's going to be used to, that it is going to use to generate the final report. These legal research queries can usually take up a few minutes. It is perfectly normal because Arbiter has to go and actually read all the latest rulings, legislation, different rules that have passed, and make sure that legal research, that the research that it is providing to you does not include any hallucinations or outdated legal advice or legal recommendations. For this reason, every research query might take between 5 to 10 minutes. So right now, it did its research and it's starting to write its final recommendation. And it is streaming everything. We'll just wait a year until it's finished and we'll go through it together. Yeah, usually once the deep reasoning, the thought process is up here, it means that it's still writing. Okay, it's done. So here you see the executive summary of all the research it did. And as you can see, everything it's writing here is cited and all the links are functioning here. And you can go ahead and click and read on them. And it writes its legal research memorandum for you, so you can go ahead and read it. It did timeline incident reporting, and at the end, it should give us probably a plan. So here it created a compliance roadmap for an AI model developer with different steps as to how you should do it, how they should do it. And we can read this entire report and it's ready. And at the end, it creates a bunch of open questions. So for example, do you have any training in fairness employees are in the operations in New York, et cetera, and you can answer to these questions to get further results. Writes its citations, and at the very end, you will see this research button here. You can press and read all the queries it made and all of its research findings so that you can make sure that the result that you received is actually correct and not hallucinated. And this is what it looks like. So to further demonstrate the capabilities of this, I have prepared also a bunch of other chats here that we're going to go through. So for example, Arbiter in chat mode has a bunch of different tools that it can use. For example, if the query includes something that might need to create a table, it is able to generate a table for you that you can copy for an Excel file or an Excel sheet and paste it there. So here, for example, we can see that it created a table and a decision framework for the path that the user might take. And all of this was generated via just one simple prompt. And the user can then go ahead and continue the conversation. Here's another one of the Arbiter's tools. It's a timeline builder, especially useful when you're in matter mode and you want to do a chronological timeline of all the events. Arbiter can generate this for you by just, if you ask it, it can generate one of these timelines with all the different details like decisions, milestones, filings, hearings, and all of it is created automatically. Another one is that we've said that Arbiter is both jurisdiction and language agnostic. So for example, this is a query with regards to laws within Kuwait, and you see that it did research within the Kuwaiti jurisdiction and provided the answer. We did this during a live demo in Dubai, and one of the attendees asked this question and was surprised to see that this is working with Kuwaiti law. There's another one here that a user asked during a live demo, and we see that it took roughly 10 to 15 minutes. This was using the premium research to find the answer that they were looking for. And they confirmed that the Arbiter provided what their legal team had provided to them after 2 weeks of research. And yeah, this wraps up the video today. You can use Arbiter to do any kind of legal research that you have. One further thing is that when you're in this default mode, Arbiter will default to your setting for the web research engine that it uses, and that is usually GitLaw Premium. But you can go ahead and go into your account settings from here and change the AI research engine to either fast or premium. The premium takes more tokens. It takes a lot more time, but it's the more accurate model. But for a lot of research that people do, it could be overkill, and it's more cost efficient to use the fast research. And if you want to absolutely make sure that something needs more in-depth research, you're going to be using the premium model. So this about wraps everything up for this video. In the future videos, we will go and explore how you can use either the deliberation mode that looks something like this, where you have 3 different perspectives on any question. And we will also be exploring the matter mode. See you in the next tutorial. Goodbye.